Hi everyone, and Cade Lafalcha to my home library. With everything going on in the world right now with COVID-19, we've seen doctors, nurses, and first responders putting themselves at risk to keep others healthy. That got me to thinking, what was it like for doctors and the sick in ancient Ireland? So sit back, pour a glass of Jameson, and let's take a look. Ireland has a long medical tradition, and much of the folklore surrounding it has survived. Some of the most famous traditional stories feature a physician named Dian Cecht, who was a god of medicine. He and his daughter Aramid guarded a healing spring, which restored the dead and wounded back to life. One of Dian Cecht's most famous accomplishments was to fashion a silver hand for King Nuada, who had lost his hand in the first battle at Machtroid. The hand was made of silver and earned Nuada the epithet Nuada of the Silver Hand. His own son Miach later fashioned a real hand for him made out of flesh and blood. Medical practice in ancient Ireland was a family affair. Each medical family had a hereditary appointment and books containing notes on diseases and their cures. This system ensured a dispersal of physicians throughout Ireland. Under law, each qualified physician took 4 medical students to train, and the physician could take a sabbatical in order to catch up on new knowledge and medical techniques. In particular, for Irish nobility, each family had a domestic physician, appointed based on his ability to cure. These doctors studied medical books and manuscripts filled with symptoms and remedies left to them by their ancestors. They also received a tract of land from the family they served in exchange for their services that was free from rent or tribute. That leads us to the books they used. Ireland had written medical literature from about 900 AD. What's special is that this literature was not in Latin or Greek, it was their own. Now, better educated doctors did have access to Greek and Latin texts, but for those who didn't have access to them, Ireland had its own wealth of medical knowledge. In fact, the Irish language contains the world's largest collection of medical texts in any one language prior to 1800. Possibly the best known of these is the Book of O'Lees, aka the Book of High Brasil, written in 1443. It contains entire tables of diseases, complete with names of afflictions, stages of progression, and their respective cures. The Irish medical tradition was also supported by a sophisticated codified legal system known today as the Brehon Laws. These are the oldest surviving codified law system in Europe. It's said that they were first codified in the 5th century by St. Patrick, and they remained in use until the early 17th century. The Brehon Laws stated that only qualified physicians could treat the sick, and there were several penalties for unqualified physicians who attempted to practice medicine. The laws held physicians bound to a moral code, much like what we call the Hippocratic Oath today. And it went further. If a doctor knowingly caused a patient's condition to worsen, they had to pay compensation. The laws also stated that anyone who wounded another was responsible for the payment of their medical care to be paid for from the fines assessed to them by the authorities. So what were the skills and tools of the Irish physicians? We know from historic records that the Irish physicians were renowned for their skill in medical botany. We also know that they used special medical instruments. A type of horn called a gipney or a gibney was used like a stethoscope. Another tool was a surgical probe called a frag. The Irish were even adept at surgery, including brain surgery. A well-known brain surgery is documented in an account of the Battle of Machroth in 637 AD. Irish chieftain Cenfalad suffered a blow to his head from a sword, fracturing his skull. He was taken to the medical school in Tuam, where the damaged part of his skull and a portion of his brain were removed in a procedure known as trephination.
Thank you, Mr. Data. Sorry, sir.
And Cenfalad? He made a full recovery. Upon recovering, his wits were said to be sharper than ever, and he became a great scholar and author, penning works such as the Primer of Poets, which is still in existence today. Some say that he gained an eidetic memory following the surgery. He lived another 42 years after his brain surgery when he passed of old age in 679 AD. So, what were some of the cures and remedies prescribed by ancient Irish doctors? In addition to sophisticated botanical and herbal knowledge, good nutrition was also emphasized. Other medical tracts state that baths, usually with herbs, were frequently prescribed for healing. A hot air bath was listed as a cure for rheumatism and other ailments. This led to the construction of several sweating houses throughout Ireland. The sweating house, or tegnalis or tegalis, was a stone cabin about 2 meters long, heated with fire from turf or peat. The idea was that the patient underwent profuse perspiration and then took a bath in cold water and was rubbed dry. The ruins of several sweating houses remain in Ireland today, in places such as Derry, Wicklow, Cavan, and Donegal. County Leitrim is home to quite a few of them in particular. Unfortunately, several others have been vandalized or destroyed. In addition to sweat houses, each territory had to maintain a hospital. Hospitals were governed by very strict laws. Each one had to have 4 doors, it had to be located near a stream for fresh running water, and it had to be maintained free of charge or taxation by the local assembly. The local physician and his students were in charge of running it. Each hospital had to have a full-time caretaker to keep away stray dogs, the mentally ill, who had their own special caring institutions, and anyone else who might cause any distress to the sick or injured. So, in a manner of speaking, they had their own social distancing. So that about wraps it up. We should all take a moment to express our gratitude to all of the medical professionals and first responders who are fighting so hard on the front lines of COVID. Thank you all so much for all you do. So I hope you all enjoyed this and some Jameson, and I hope I didn't mess up the pronunciation of the Irish names and terms too badly. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to post any questions that you have, and I'll do my best to answer them. And as always, if there's a particular topic you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Slán se.